It is 8:23. Welcome back to the program, and welcome back to a good friend of ours from Medicap Pharmacy. Sherry Schmidt is here because it is time for some great advice from our friends at Medicap Pharmacy. And oh, I hate to say it, but back to school.
Right. We don't want to think of summer coming to an end, but we have kids going back to school. We have college kids heading off, and we just want to make sure parents and students are prepared.
Get them off the streets, I say.
You know, if the teenagers were awake, you'd hear a collective groan, but we all know they're not.
If they were awake.
If they were awake.
In the morning. We get it. We get it.
Well, what I thought we'd talk about today is back to school and some of the things to think about for back to school. And there's college kids going off to school, so you don't think about them. You tend to think about the younger kids. And
I had a friend the other day, and I thought it was brilliant because a lot of people have friends that are going off to college, and it's like, what do you get your friends that are going to college? You do the usual gift card or what, and a friend of mine's like, I always give them a first aid kit because they get it and they're like, oh great, thanks, but then when they're at college they're like, I need a Band-Aid.
Oh, I don't have any
I
of
have
those.
this.
Yeah.
So it's important to think about things like this.
It is, and you know, for a lot of kids, they have never been sick away from their parents before.
Right.
They've maybe never been to the pharmacy by themselves before, or the doctor by themselves. So it's kind of a scary time, and we see a lot of panicked kids when they get sick and come into the pharmacy. So we have these little college first aid kits that we've put together. I think they sell for $19.99, and they just kind of have some basics in there. So just some things that they might need when they're away from home. So it has in there some hydrocortisone ointment, so if they have like bug bites or rash or itch, something like that. It has triple antibiotic ointment, so if they get a cut, and then the Band-Aids like Jackie was talking about, ibuprofen, a thermometer, and then just the little probe covers that you can put over it to keep the thermometer clean. Because a lot of times they call home and they're like, they're sick, and you know, you're asking them questions. You're like, well, do you have a fever?
Yeah,
and
what's
like,
your temperature?
I don't know, you know, because you're trying to help them figure out if they need to go to the doctor or not, or how to treat it. So, and you can add some things to it, like if you know if they have allergy medicine, you could always customize it and put whatever they take, or whatever cough and cold medicine. I like to add cough drops to it, even though they really don't necessarily help the cough much. If they're sitting in a class, it might give them something to suck on and help a little bit.
Yeah, it helps in that way.
Yeah.
That's a great idea, because I don't think we ever had any of that, and it probably would have been nice to have around the dorm room.
Yeah, it's not the most exciting thing in the world, but when you need it, you're so happy that it's there.
And you'll need it at some point.
And they will, and you know, but that's the last thing you want to do is when you don't feel well to have to try and go out and find it, or ask a friend or roommate to go get it, search for it. And then the other thing we just remind parents is to make sure that they give a copy of their insurance card to their child to take with them. Maybe even just keep it in the kit or in their wallet with them. So both their medical, their pharmacy card, dental card, whatever insurance card you have, make sure that they get a copy of that. Because
they know where it is.
And they know where it is, yeah, because they'll come in the pharmacy and they'll say, do you have insurance? I don't know. Can you call my mom? So we can definitely help with that.
So that takes care of the college kids.
Yeah. So unfortunately, the younger kids, it's already started going around is head lice.
I thought this was a when they get back to school thing, not an August thing.
Yeah, you know. It's,
and you know this just because people are coming in asking for this stuff right now?
People are coming in, yeah, we are seeing it. So I mean, I think now, you know, with daycares and things where kids are getting together in bigger groups and things, I mean, it can kind of happen all the time.
So do you just stand back and throw it at them? Here, pay me later.
Put it in the tube, and then the tube comes all the way over.
We're actually kind of used to that, so yeah, I mean, we get over the itches, you know, after you've done it for a little while.
Just mentioning it, I'm scratching here.
Let's talk about these little guys, even though it's breakfast time. So how do you get them? I mean,
well, that's a good question. So, can they fly?
No.
No. Can they jump?
Yes.
No.
Oh, they're not like a flea.
No.
They just crawl.
Right. So they actually spread with direct contact. So, and this kind of shows the size of them. They are kind of hard to see, especially like the little eggs are hard to see. But the eggs sort of look like a sesame seed. Sometimes they're a little bit kind of, you know, shiny and opaque like. Okay. And then the adult. But they're actually spread by direct contact. So usually head-to-head contact, or sharing a towel, a comb,
no headbutting,
a brush, a hat, things like that. So, and this just kind of shows the biggest thing with getting rid of them is actually the combing process. So when you do the treatment and then combing afterwards, this just kind of shows like how you separate the hair into quarters so that you can use the comb and comb everything out.
Okay.
So what type of stuff do you have to put in someone's hair to get rid of these?
You know, there's lots of different things. Some of them are actually toxic, and so they're made with chemicals. But the one that I like the most is the one I brought here today, and it's called Lice Ice. And what you do is you actually apply it to dry hair and coat the hair completely, and then you leave it on overnight for like 8 to 12 hours.
Because you've got to kill the adults and
eggs.
get away for the eggs to hatch, right?
Well, the eggs you can comb out as
Okay.
well. So if you can comb them out, that would be the best case scenario. So what this does is it kind of encases it in this hard gel and basically kind of suffocates them. And then it also loosens the egg from the hair shaft so that you can comb it all out. So.
This isn't like a health threat, it's just disgusting pretty much. Is that it?
Right,
It's
yeah,
not gonna
they
kill you.
don't carry diseases.
They
You know, a
don't.
lot of people think they carry diseases. They don't. You can sometimes get secondary bacterial infections just from scratching.
Right.
You know.
Because it is itchy.
It is
right?
itchy.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, yes, it is.
Now,
definitely
is
itchy.
Lou in his present configuration resistant to lice, or do they?
They can be on short hair, but probably fairly resistant. There's not much
Nothing
for
else to be
them
able see
to
'em
attach
easier
to.
Yeah.
and get them.
Be able
They
to
don't have
see
the
'em.
protection that they would probably enjoy
Right,
with
and,
having more hair.
right, and it's just kind of harder for them to attach.
Now, when you comb them out, do you want to comb them out somewhere like outside or in a sink or
Ideally,
Your friend's
yes.
house.
Tom's house?
Yeah, I mean, you do want to comb them out and, you know, wipe it onto, you know, like a paper towel or something where you can throw it away. And ideally, yeah, outside would be a great place to do
What
it.
a pain.
Although they really can't live off of the body for more than a day or two. So,
Okay.
so for things that's the other thing that we talk about is also like preventing reinfestation. So washing your bedding, your towels, clothing, hats, combs.
As I say, I
things
had it
like
once
that.
when I was a kid, and I remember my mom washing
Everything.
everything, like my stuffed animals, everything, all
Right.
went into a.
What do they
Wash machine.
eat?
That's a really good question. I'm assuming
find out.
like, yeah, dead skin cells maybe. I'm
So they're not,
really
like, sucking
sure.
the blood
Or live skin.
Yeah, yeah, live skin cells. I'm not really sure actually.
Do you
That's a
ever
good
hear
question.
of dogs getting lice?
Pets do not carry lice. That's another thing is a lot of people think they need to
Really?
treat their cats or their dogs, but no, they don't live on them. So.
I didn't realize.
So get a little dog and wear it on your head.
That'll prevent lice. Okay, so you learned something new.
Normal.
What you hear on this program, you won't hear anywhere else. And Jason Parkin just proved it.
Yeah.
Now, what's going on here?
This is just kind of our flyer that talks about back to school, and you can stock up on your first aid kit, the lice ice, things like that. The other thing with the lice ice that I was going to mention is it can actually be used as a preventative as well. You mix 1 part of the lice ice with 4 parts of water, put it in a spray bottle, and you put it on hair kind of like as a conditioner when it's wet, and it makes the hair shaft slicker so
Okay.
that the lice have a harder time attaching.
So if you know
to
it's
it.
kind of going around your school system or your daycare,
Absolutely.
might not be a bad thing to do.
Yeah,
just for a
especially
little
if you
prevention.
have long hair like you and I do.
Yeah.
That makes
Yeah,
it
any kind of prevention is always great.
right.
And the
Yeah.
easy name to remember, too, it's
Lice ice.
baby.
Now, if people have more information about that, or if they do want to make a specialized kit for their kid going off to school, maybe they do have allergies, things like that, can they come into Medicap Pharmacy and ask
Absolutely.
some questions?
They sure can. We should, all of our locations there, we have the college kits, kind of the basic ones put together, and then we can help them, you know, specialize it and customize it if they would like.
Is anybody
So-
else's head itchy?
It's like,
Well, awesome. Thank you so much.
thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Good
Yeah,
information.
good to be
Great
here.
information.
It is.